Hello, my name is Guillem, and I am 15 years old, and I am a full teenager. Currently, I am suffering not only physical, but also emotional changes.
2 centuries ago, all these hormonal changes had an objective: prepare us to leave the house and make our own family. Now, we rest with parents and generation conflicts increase. I am growing up and started this journey of empowerment and independence. But it's complicated. And you know it perfectly, because you have also been teenagers. I guess some of you already have children that are, have been, or will be teenagers. Indeed, if you think about it, older people have always been unable to emphasize with and understand the next generation. Today it's not different. Do you remember that? Today, I'm going to focus on one of the key discussion points on teenager habits. So, partying. Is it worth or not worth it? It's part of us. We're developing our social skills. We need to break rules we don't understand, create connections with people of our same age who understand our needs. So we need to be together to keep growing. So partying is essential. For those who still think that there are more cons than pros, let me show you some real data to rebate this discussion. The first part. In parties, obviously, there is a huge risk in alcohol consumption. However, did you know that the amount of alcohol consumption by teenagers has declined by 30% in the last 30 years? Also, some teenagers start consuming drugs in parties. But did you know that the consumption of drugs has also declined a 30% by teenagers? Did you know that only the 80% of 15 to 16 youngsters have ever tried an illicit drug? Did you know that Spanish from 14 to 18 teens smoke a 60% less in the previous decade? Another of the arguments is that there is also a risk that we have in sexual experiences while we are not mature enough. But did you know that 41% of 14 to 18 youngsters were sexually experienced in 2017, whereas in 1981 it was much superior with a 54%? To finish this discussion, for those who still believe that teenagers will be safer at home, let me tell you, did you know that we are online 146 minutes per weeknight? So, consequently, we sleep less. Did you also know that all of this is very strong? The number of teenagers who get together with their friends dropped a 40% in the last 15 years. This implies that we are taking a risk of losing social skills. Indeed, 35% of teenagers are worried about not having enough friends. And the last data. Did you know that the 56% of older teenagers went out on dates in 2015 while their parents were at a rate of 85% at the same age? So, in a nutshell, we, teenagers of today, have much more healthier habits than those in the previous generations. But we are also taking a huge risk, which is losing physical contact with our friends and also staying single. So, with all of this data, are you still sure you're against partying? Of course, every teenager is an entire world. And the final answer to the question, is it actually worth partying? The answer is yes, but always with moderation and depending on the maturity of the teen. So as you all know, this is just a question of growing up.